All right, here's an overview of evaluation and grading for this semester. Topic quizzes. So there's going to be a topic quiz in every module. Discussions final answer. We'll get to what that means. The problems you're going to have to do. Lab exercises. Your midterm exams that we've talked about when they are. Your final exam. So what do all these pieces mean? So topic quiz. Every week you're going to have videos to review, slide decks that go with that, and there are going to be questions in the topic quiz that you have to answer. Most of these will be multiple choice. The way I do multiple choice questions is you'll get a couple of chances and you'll see which ones you got wrong, and you have to go back and try and fix those right away. Discussion questions. So there's going to be a discussion. I'm going to divide you guys into smaller groups so that you're not in the whole class trying to have a discussion. I'm going to divide you into smaller groups for discussions. In terms of these discussions, you'll be in the same group all semester unless people drop out and we have to make adjustments there and kind of keep the groups. I want to try and have the groups all be the same size. So the groups are going to probably have 5 or 6 people in them. And so in the discussions, here's the big thing. You don't have to get the answer right, right? When you start off with the discussion is a place to learn, to figure out the problem that I've given you to discuss as a group. So in the discussion, your first attempt, your first post, you get 4 points if you've thought about it and tried. You get 2 points if you didn't think about it, right? You get 0 points if it's a trivial post or if you edit your post, right? So think about what you're going to post before you post it. For each of the 2 posts that you have to make to others. So you have to comment on 2 other people. All right, you're going to get 3 points for making a thoughtful comment. Same here is not thoughtful. 1 point for a trivial comment, 0 for no comment. All right, so you've got to comment on 2 others. You've got to make your post. This is all about learning and figuring it out and reading each other's answers and trying to come to consensus on it. Because after you've done that, then you have to do a discussion final answer. This, you're on your own. And this, being right, is more of an issue, right? You want to be right on the final answer after you've had time to work with your group on what the answer should be. Problems. So each problem set is worth 12 points. There are 10 problems in a problem set. Each problem is worth 1 point. Once you're done, you upload an Excel file where you're going to solve all the problems, and I'll give you an example of what that should look like. The Excel file is going to be worth 2 points. 1 point for labeling each problem, each input, and each output correctly, and 1 point for performing the calculations in Excel. In the past, I've had people that say, I don't want to do an Excel, and they would just use a calculator to calculate the answer, and then stick that number in Excel, and that doesn't get you this point. All right? Here's the good news. Here's the bad news. Start with the bad news. You're all going to have different numbers. So you can't turn to your friend and say, hey, what'd you get for this problem? Because the number they got and the number you get completely different, right? Okay, so you can't do that. But once you turn in a problem set, you see what the correct answers are. There'll be videos, if you've missed one, to help you with the ones you've missed. You get 5 attempts. Right? You get 5 attempts to figure out how to do the problems and get them correct. You see the answer that you should have gotten. This is where the Excel file really comes in handy, because for the ones you got correct, you go on to the next attempt and you just put in the new inputs and you still get the correct output from that, right? And you just work on the ones that you missed. That's what Excel really will help you do. All right, so in the problems, you're going to be working on them. Again, you get 5 attempts. If you missed one, or the ones that you miss on, there's video help for the ones that you miss. All right. Laboratory exercises, there'll be 1 every week. I'm going to try and make these good. It's really hard in this environment. There'll be a lab kit you're going to have to get. You're going to have to pick up your lab kit. I'm going to have to get it to you somehow. Hopefully most of you are around campus. Those of you that are flying, I know you're around campus. And so we'll get you the kits. They're going to be Most of them are pretty easy. Some questions that go with them, you have to take some data, you have to think about the exercise, I have to write up a little bit about it, but not a lot. The exams. So as we've already seen, there are going to be 3 exams. The exams are broken into pieces, so you don't have to work through the whole thing at one time. Again, I'm giving you a whole week to work through the exam. So you've got a multiple choice section that's timed separately. You've got a discussion question that's individual, that's timed separately. The multiple choice timed separately, discussion timed separately. You've got a set of individual problems. Those are all timed separately. And then you get a group problem. Now, the group problems are not going to be the same groups you use for the discussions. The reason is what I do with the group problems is as people finish the other 3 pieces, I add them to a group. And when a group hits 5 people, I start the next group. That lets students that work the exam early in the semester go ahead and start, early in the week, go ahead and start working with other students on the group problem, right? And then those students that don't finish until later in the week are grouped with students that finish later in the week. So that way you're not hung up waiting on your group to get there. The group piece is in 2 parts. One, there's your group discussing it. And it's very much like the group discussions before. You're going to get graded on your discussion of the problem and your attempt to discuss it. But then after your group has been through it all, you have to actually solve the problem yourself on your own with different numbers, right? So that's the group problems. The final is very similar, but it doesn't have the group piece, right? Final exams, I just can't count on you being able to get together for a group piece. It's just not there. Okay, and that's an overview of all the pieces that go in to make up your grade.